back to my channel. It is your girl, Dutchy. For today's video, I thought I would sit down and basically get you guys to send in questions that you are afraid to ask your parents or guardian or even friends, just people around you. I'm going to be covering lots of topics, including like sex, sexuality, mental health, all of those sorts of things, because I understand that when you're growing up, it can be uncomfortable asking for advice or asking certain questions about certain things. And while I had a really good and close relationship with my parents, I do understand that sometimes there are things you feel like you can't ask your parents or someone close to you because you're scared of how they will react or if they'll treat you differently, that sort of thing. So I felt like being a big sister, mother, father, whomever to you guys. You're like my little family and I want to do as much as I can to help you guys. Yeah, a bit more of a serious one today, but I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, give it a huge thumbs up. And yeah, without further ado, let's get on into this video. The first question I have here is, how would you feel if your daughter was gay? Big one, and I feel like a lot of you could relate to that. It's a tough one. If you're thinking of asking that question, you're obviously a little bit unsure of how that parent or guardian is going to respond. And it's a big one. I think that would be a giant leap to ask, but also maybe a great way of coming out. Rather than having to sit down and be like, I'm gay, or I'm into girls, or I'm attracted to girls, I think asking the question, how would you feel if your daughter was gay, is a deeper way. And in some cases a hard one to ask. I can't really answer that because I'm not a parent myself and I don't know what it's like. Obviously your sexuality should not matter to them at all. It shouldn't affect your relationship, but at the end of the day, it's something that might have to come up eventually or it may not. But if you are gay, I love that for you and we all love and support you so much, and thank you for telling me. Okay, the next question is, how do you shave down there and how do you avoid nicks and shaving rash? Make sure like the area is really soft and ready to shave first. So either hop in the shower and just like don't shave straight away, like wait a couple of minutes first, or alternatively have a bath and soak in that for like 5 to 10 minutes first. It really actually softens the skin and like the hair in that area, so it makes it a lot easier and nicer to shave. My second tip is use shaving cream. I just use Dude's shaving cream. It's like cheap as from the supermarket, and I use a men's razor because they have more blades and I seem to get a closer, cleaner shave with them. I do not really like using women's razors. I've used them before for like my legs and underarms and stuff, but I just feel like for this particular area, men's razors are better. They work a lot better. Also, shave in the direction your hair grows. I know a lot of the time with legs you will shave up, which is completely fine because your legs and your underarms are nowhere near as sensitive as your downstairs area. Definitely shave with the way the hair grows. So shave down, do not just start shaving up. That will 100% irritate the skin. Some people do swear by it and say that it gives you like a closer, cleaner shave, which it may do, but it also increases your risk of like getting nicks and cuts, and definitely increases your risk of getting shaving rash because the area will then be irritated. So yeah, shave with the hair, do like 1 or 2 strokes and then clean it because you don't want to get hair like caught in there and like be doing that. Then you can also cut yourself if it's like all clogged. The reason I say to use a shaving cream is because if you start using soaps or like body washes and things, that might throw off your pH balance a little bit because those usually aren't meant for those areas. You could also use something like a feminine wash that if that soaks up and is a little bit oily, you could use something like that. And then after I shave, if I do want it to be super nice and stuff, I will sometimes put baby oil on those areas. That really like soothes it and stops things from rubbing and things as well. It can actually help soothe if there is any irritation, and usually the next day it's like perfectly fine. I think maybe doing those things really helps me not get it. Next question, why don't you accept that I'm bi? I got that question a lot and it made me really sad. And I think there's so much stigma and like negative things around being bi, and people immediately, parents especially, jump to, you're just confused, and that hurts. And I understand that hurts because I've had that said to me as well. That's a question that a lot of you would probably want to ask, and it's something I want to know the answer to as well, because it's just not right. I love you so much. I see that you are not confused. Bisexuality is valid. You are valid. I have nothing else to say. The next question is how to get over a crush. I've been through that many a time, and damn, it sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It sucks when you like someone and they're with someone else, or you like someone and they don't like you back. Something along those lines. it sucks. But don't you stress, I have some tips. They work for me, they may not work for everyone, but you could try it. My top tips for getting over a crush, honestly, and I feel like I say this all the time, but surround yourself with friends and family. Surround yourself with people who can distract you, who you love, who you can go out and do fun things with. Spend as much time with them as you can. They are your best distraction. And hey, you might even meet someone new through them. Netflix or Stan or one of those, Disney Plus, whatever they are. Binge watch that show that you've been wanting to for ages. Start that new series, read a book, maybe do some more exercise. That can help to clear your mind if you go for a walk every day. Music is a big one. Music can get my mind off almost anything, especially music that never related to that person. So obviously don't listen to music that you might have listened to together. Find a new band or genre or something to listen to. Start up a new hobby. Watch YouTube. Meditation and yoga. And this is so cliche, but it's true. The only thing that really helps is time, or finding someone new, I guess. But time really helps. And I know we can't speed up time, so that sucks. But yeah, doing all of those things can really help you get over a crush, and has helped me get over a crush many a time. How to deal with bullying. Now this is something everyone should be able to speak about with their parent. It's hard to admit you're being bullied. I get that. I was bullied in primary school quite heavily and a little bit in high school, and it almost feels embarrassing to admit, which it shouldn't. It is not your fault. Someone out there is being awful to you or treating you in an awful way, or a way that is not acceptable, and that makes us feel bad and embarrassed or ashamed, and it shouldn't. But I get that it does, because I have felt that as well. At the end of the day, if you or someone you know is being bullied, that sucks. That is not okay, and it's the other individual's issue. I know it's making you feel bad, or it might be making you feel less worthy, or could be making you feel a handful of different emotions. Bullying's never okay, and it's something that you should really get to the bottom of, and soon. You do not deserve to be treated that way. If you feel like you can't talk to your parent, and a few other people sent the same sort of thing in, if you feel like you can't talk to your parent or guardian about that, then talk to someone that you feel like you can tell. Maybe someone that you trust at school, another teacher or an aide, or maybe there's a school counselor or someone you could go to on your lunch break, and then usually they can contact, with your consent, your parent. If depending on how bad it is and depending on the situation, they can talk to your parent for you, and quite often that can come across as a lot more serious. Maybe you're afraid of your parents not taking it seriously or something like that. I feel like if it does come from like a school counselor or a teacher especially, not only can they do something about the bullying, or should be able to and should do, they can also talk to your parents about it, or even call your parents and be like, look, your child came to me with this at school, and then you can have a conversation from there, because bullying's never okay. Next question, is there protection for girl on girl sex? Yes, little sex education here. You are welcome. Let's get it. That's the thing with sex ed in like school, right? We're never told about lesbian safe sex practices. Like, hello, it exists. Girls and girls have sex together. So there are a few ways to practice safe sex to reduce your risk of STIs and all of this in lesbian sex. So yeah, you can use something called a dental dam. It is essentially a sheet which can go over the vagina, or actually your anus as well. So that just creates a barrier. There's also a female condom, which I mean you can use in any scenario. I guess when using toys, if you're using a toy on like you and your partner, then that could be easier if you just both wear a female condom, because then you don't have to worry about putting a condom on that. Making sure you're washing your sex toys in between sessions as well is super duper important, because you don't want them to harbor bacteria or anything funny like that. So always wash your sex toys. It's also important to remember that some infections can be actually transmitted by your hands and your fingers, and like also your vagina. So if you're rubbing or sort of vulvas or things on each other, you can actually transmit infections and stuff like that. So it's important to always wash your hands before and after sex. Like, these are just all things that you would do with any sex, regardless of who you're having sex with. What does an orgasm feel like? Wow, you guys are really testing me today. I guess, well, from experience and from having friends that I'm super close with that we talk about absolutely everything with, by the sounds of it, orgasms differ from person to person. No two orgasms are probably going to be alike. They'll have very similar feelings and sensations, but I think it is different for everyone, especially woman to woman. This is going to be so much information for you guys, but I feel like this stuff should not be taboo. It should be spoken about. And I'm like your mother, father, sister, whomever. For me, it's like super intense. It's like a massive release. release. It's like fireworks, shaking and like passing out, almost blacking out. It's just depends, I guess, who you're with, but for me, it's just like this big explosion, I guess. It's just a big release, and it's just a really nice euphoric feeling. How do lesbians have sex? I feel like this is something that you can find. Obviously there's heaps of different positions that work better for lesbians. They have sex the same way anyone else has sex. Sex is sex. There is no definition to it. Sex for me like doesn't even have to involve penetration. It's what it is to you. It's subjective. It's different for everyone. How two women have sex is different for everyone. Not all lesbians would have the same sex. Toys you can use, you can perform oral sex, you can, like fingering is sex to me. So yeah, they have sex like anyone else has sex. How to use a tampon. Probably not going to do a little visual demonstration for you guys with this one. There's usually always a little informational like slip in the box that you buy. Using a tampon for the first time, daunting, won't lie. It's not as hard. You have to be super duper relaxed, which can be hard if it is your first time and you're a little bit nervous about getting it in properly and things. Honestly, I think the best advice I can give is just to get like a hand mirror and like watch where you're putting it. Also get in touch with your area and like know, because everyone's anatomy is slightly different. Your hips like might tilt back more slightly, so the way you and your bestie put tampons in are probably different. On the topic of tampons, if you use a tampon, have you lost your virginity? No, I don't believe so. This is wholesome. How do you know when you're in love with someone? Dear. Love is a very complicated emotion, and it is absolutely beautiful and absolutely foul at the same time. How do you know? I guess if you've been talking to someone for a while or dating someone for a while, in my experience, it's just been a slow rise to where I get to an area and I kind of just realize, I'm like, damn, I love this person, or I'm in love with this person. You feel it with them, and it's very hard to explain, and it's again subjective and different for everyone. People fall at different paces and in different time frames, but I think when you know, which again is super cliche and probably not handy, but you will know when you love someone. How do you finger someone? That's a very specific question. I think good old Stevie has a good fingering tutorial, so I will pop that in here as well. Definitely go and watch that after this video because she explains it. She does a lot of female sex ed videos as well, which I absolutely love. Very informative, very well done. So I will put that in the description box as well. Does losing your virginity hurt? That's definitely something I felt like I couldn't ask my parents. I think I did in the end. It shouldn't hurt. It can be uncomfortable. Your first time can be uncomfortable, but it shouldn't hurt. If you're with the right person and you're as relaxed as you can be, it should not hurt, but it may be a little bit uncomfortable, yeah, your first time. Yeah, again, if you're with someone that you love and you trust and you make things as comfortable as possible between the two of you, it shouldn't be too bad. Use lube if you need it. Obviously, practice safe sex, please. Please, please, please. But yeah, if you're with the right person and you're using lube and you feel as comfortable as you can be, it shouldn't hurt. But then at the same time, some people have different medical conditions, or it may. I'm not going to sit here and say like, no, it won't. But it shouldn't be too painful, no.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help
Siri,
with?
this person said, can you get rid of the spider in my room? Haha, lol. This person said, why am I just confused if I like girls but normal if I like guys? This question hurts me. You are not just confused, and you are normal regardless. I hate that society has shaped us in a way to feel that way. And people make us feel that way from time to time. It sucks, right? We're not confused. At the end of the day, if you know wholeheartedly and truly in yourself that you're not confused, that's all that matters. Let people think what they think. They don't know what you're feeling or feel your feels. But I 100% get that question and would like to ask that of many people. Are you actually okay with me being gay or just pretending? Again, this one makes me super, super sad because I'd like to imagine or like to think that all parents are supportive of their LGBTQ plus children regardless. I support you and I would never pretend with that. Sexuality can be a complicated and confusing time, and I feel like you should have all the support and love behind you in the world. world, regardless of that. Who do I go to see if I have depression and or anxiety, and how can I get diagnosed? There are so many people out there that can help you with this. There are so many things, so many resources that can help you. If you are struggling at the moment with your mental health, please, please, please do seek help in one of the following ways. Your mental health is worth everything. Always put your mental health first. I'm a strong believer in putting your mental health before anything else, honestly. It is so, so important. There are so many different ways you can seek help. There's actually helplines that you can call if you're too afraid to tell your parents or something, or feel like you can't at this moment in time, or if you feel like they're never there, they might work all the time, you might never see them. There are definitely other ways of getting help. So you can call Kids Helpline, Beyond Blue. I'll put all of these down below, and I'll link some handy websites as well, because there's actually people that you can talk to online now as well. Then obviously physically going to a place, you can go to a psychologist, a school counselor. In terms of actually physically going to see someone, there are psychologists, counselors, school counselors out there, psychiatrists, so many people out there that have the qualifications to help you and to possibly medicate you for things like anxiety and depression. At the end of the day, it's not going to get better unless you do see someone, and that taking the first step is the hardest part. I do understand that. I've been there myself, but it really does help, and they really do know what they're doing. Sometimes it is a lot easier to talk to a stranger about your problems than a family member, which is probably why you are scared to talk to someone or ask someone about that. But yeah, that is my advice, and please, please, please do seek help if you need it. How do I know if I'm gay? That's a hard one. That's a hard one to ask anyone, I believe, including yourself. I guess listen to your feelings, listen to your attraction, your thoughts, like what are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? If you're attracted to someone, who has that been and why? Like what are the reasons behind it? And time can help you figure out a lot of things about how you feel and who you're attracted to, who you want to be with, and ultimately end up with, and that sort of thing as well. I don't think your parents would be able to answer that for you. I think it's something that comes from within. Would you treat me the same if I told you I liked girls? Oof, that tugs at my heart, and I 100% hope their response would be, yes, of course, you're my child, and I love you unconditionally. This follows on from that. You say you're okay with gay people as long as they're not in your face about it, but would you actually be okay with having a gay child? Would the dynamic change? I honestly am not your parent, and I hope they would be like, no, like you're my child, I love you unconditionally, but obviously that's not the case all the time, hence why you may have messaged me that you should be loved unconditionally by the two people that conceived you. Can I get a binder? That's a difficult one to ask, I guess. I've obviously never been in that situation, so I can't empathize with that. I would say yes, 100%, and I would come with you to buy it. Obviously that's something that it's not a want, it's a need to make yourself feel better and look better with dysphoria and things. So if you can't, and you want a binder and you feel like you can't approach your parents about buying one, then maybe you could go with a friend or another trusted adult that you could talk to, that could take you maybe. Can I shop in the men's section? 100% yes, you do you. Go for it. Does sex hurt? Very similar to losing the virginity question. Sex should not hurt. Sex should be enjoyable, especially if you're doing it with someone that you really like and trust, and you have that mutual conversation and things, obviously about protection, and the person you're sleeping with, you should also always be able to talk about if something's not working for you, like a certain position may not be as comfortable as another, but no, sex should not hurt. Why am I sad all the time, and can I see a therapist? Yeah, I think that's definitely something that you can be afraid to ask and talk about. I think we kind of spoke about this before. Please do seek help. If you are sad all the time, that's not normal. It's okay to go through stages of being sad. We all have them. I have days where I wake up sad and I'm like, why am I like this? And nothing in particular has happened. Other times we go through things in life that do make us sad or unmotivated or stressed, and that's completely normal. It's okay to let yourself feel that for a day or two, or when you are experiencing something and you can validate that, or days where you're just down for a day or two. Completely normal, we're only human. But if you are feeling constantly sad and there's nothing you can really do, you've tried to get out of it, you've tried to distract yourself, and if it's just not working, it's definitely worth seeing someone, and you should see a therapist, and parents should encourage that. Yeah, if you can't, maybe try and talk to someone that you can. As I said, school counselors, some schools have psychologists, or some have people that they can recommend you to as well, if that is necessary. Yes, if you are sad all the time, please do talk to someone, please do seek help. and possibly, yes, go and see a therapist. All right, well, those were a massively broad range of questions to answer. We got pretty deep there. I do care about you guys a lot, and I didn't realize how many of you had questions regarding mental health and things. I would absolutely love to post more about it. I just don't know what types of videos you want. So let me know in the comments below if you do want more serious mental health and sexuality and videos like that. There were enough questions about it, and I'm happy to, obviously I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a counselor, but I have gone through things, and obviously I have a way of getting through those things. If you do want videos about that or advice about seeking help or who to talk to, then I'm 100% okay with providing that for you. Obviously, I do have a pretty light-hearted channel, but it's also important we can't ignore things like mental health. They're super, super important, and I would like to promote as much awareness and things around topics that are kind of taboo, if I can, and if you guys want that. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!